All right, everyone, welcome to week 9, where we're going to be looking at chapter 6, or at least all of chapter 6 that I feel is truly necessary to cover. To be fair, if I did say it was truly necessary to cover, it'd be even less than this, but whatever. So, we're going to start here with section 6.1, where we're going to be introducing the idea of a confidence interval. And this is going to be in terms of comparisons with things like point and interval estimates, that is a single value or a window, as well as some ideas of what we're working with the sample sizes. And then in here, we should technically also be talking about confidence intervals using z-scores, but I really don't like the assumptions that have to be made for that sort of thing. So I'm not going to talk a whole lot about that, as I don't really feel it's a useful exercise. I think I'm better off not giving you another thing that you might trip over as you're practicing with these things. So mostly 6.1 is about introducing the idea of a confidence interval rather than making one. Where in 6.2, we're going to start looking at how you can actually do these things, but to do that, we have to introduce a new construction for approximating when we don't know a whole lot about populations. That is, we're introducing the t-distribution, where somewhere in there I'm going to give you guys a chance to get a little bit of extra credit if you can give me some info about the t-distribution, but we're going to see what that is, and then talk about how you can get confidence intervals for the mean where you don't know the population standard deviation sigma and only know S. And then we're going to finish what we have here looking at the same sort of thing, but now instead of the proportionate approximate, rather than talking about the mean, or look at the value for p instead of mu, where if you did section 5.5, and you still can, that should still be available, you'll get a bit more setup for how we bring these things together in terms of the binomial approximate to normal. But we're going to talk about a lot of that same sort of stuff. We're going to look at making those intervals, we're going to look at sample sizes, and that's basically the idea here. Where for this week, we've got a pretty normal set of things that we're going to be working on. We've got our worksheet, which is going to be due on Friday. We have our MyLab deadlines for next week, which will be due, well, not for next week, for this week's material that are due next week on Tuesday night, which is 6.1 through 6.3. And then we've got a pre-assessment moving us into week 10. Very important material in there. Unfortunately, this stuff's kind of sandwiched between two really big topics, but we're going to make the best of what we've got here, looking at chapter 6.